Okay, welcome everyone to the full moon call. It's such a pleasure to see everybody coming in. Tonight, Leslie Meehan was going to host, but she wasn't able to, so I will be co-hosting with Therese Hogan this evening. And her partner is stepping in for Julian to play the didge during our meditation tonight. So we have a new little mix happening here. We welcome each of you in the light of this full moon as we gather to offer prayers for the protection and healing of Gaia and all beings in the web of life. The Earth Treasure Vase tradition comes to us through a lineage from Tibet, where many centuries ago the Guru Padmasambhava revealed this terma as a remedy for healing Earth and removing the suffering in times of degeneration. This practice of burying Earth treasure vases for the purpose of restoring vitality within the essence of the elements, for increasing wisdom within all beings, and for removing the obstacles to long life, was passed to Cynthia Jors in 1990. At that time, Cynthia was given the opportunity to travel to Nepal and take a several-day trek into the high mountains to visit the 106-year-old Tibetan Buddhist Lama Charak Rinpoche, who lived in a cave in a remote region of Nepal. On her way up the mountain in deep reflection, Cynthia wondered what to ask the Lama when she reached him. She carried a deep concern over how humanity could handle mounting nuclear waste. In the shadow of the nuclear age, she sought insight on how to bring healing and protection to the earth. Under the direction of Charak Rinpoche and with the help of Lama Sultram, Earth treasure vases were crafted with sacred medicines in the monasteries of Nepal. With the first 30 vases, Cynthia started this aspect of the Earth treasure vase practice. And we are gathered in the light of a full moon in Aries. Aries is a warrior sign offering strength, courage, and resilience. Our current astrology indicates that we are likely to be facing many obstacles on the path, and it is of utmost importance that we not focus on these obstacles or be overtaken with fear, but hold our focus on where we want to be. And for this reason, we are deeply grateful to all who are gathered here together to align our vision and prayers with what we want to see manifest in the world. Together, we strengthen our ability to be calm and to hold the center through the world changes. And now I'd like to give a little update on some of the current activity taking place in the mandala. This full moon is conjunct Chiron, shining bright light on issues of sickness, health, and healing. And it's a timely moment to direct our intentions to and through the COVID healing Earth treasure vase that Marita Sheeran is preparing for burial in Kirkland, Washington, where the COVID pandemic first broke out in the United States. May this full moon reveal an open path for the intended burial on October 25th in a park located on Lake Washington. And may the moon magnify our intentions for healing from and through the pandemic. Marita is in the process of gaining permission to plant a tree in the park, making it also possible for her to plant her third generation vase. So let's just take a brief moment to send our prayers to her And we are also bringing Osa Aearkin and her third generation vase dedicated to the whales forward in our hearts and our minds at this time, as her vase is also calling for burial this month, before winter is over. Yeah, sometime in the next few months. Osa is grateful for all the prayers that she received as she determines the location for her vase. It has become clear that she'll be planting her vase somewhere in the area of Provincetown on Cape Cod. And the bay surrounding Provincetown was once filled with whales, and as a result became one of the centers for whaling. So we invite your intentions for healing of the whaling legacy and the return of the health of the whales. May the way fully open for the burial of Osa's vase. We are also holding Christine An and the vase dedicated to Korea in our hearts. There has been some significant movement in regard to the Korean Earth Treasure Vase, which we will be able to share with everyone soon. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Liza Jane Alexander to speak about her third generation Earth Treasure Vase, which is dedicated to the healing in the Southeastern United States. Liza Jane came to us through Cynthia's connection with the Tree Sisters in 2020. Liza Jane joined the first retreat Cynthia offered for transmission of the Tara Gaia practice. And she has attended every one of these retreats with Cynthia since then, making the Tara Gaia practice and mantra a consistent part of her practice. Liza Jane has a long-standing history with Thich Nhat Hanh and the tradition emanating from Plum Village. And through these and her call to serve Mother Earth, Liza Jane has found home in Alliance for the Earth. And in truth, it feels like she has always been with us. When she came to Ghost Ranch Retreat a year ago, I was blessed with hosting her for a few days before and after the retreat. And when I asked her what she would like to see and experience in Santa Fe, she asked to go to the Cave of the Winds. She was ready to go straight to the heart of the mandala. So leaving Ghost Ranch, we ventured out with Kat Van Hammond in an extended ceremony to connect the newly made third generation vases to the center of the mandala. Liza Jane's gift of song resonated throughout the mandala from the cave, tying all the intentions crafted into the newly made vessels into the whole. And with that, I welcome Liza Jane.
Thank you, Elizabeth Christine. Oh, great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos. To you I bow in gratitude. May the fruits of your spiritual powers be fully realized. Om Gaia Mandala Siddhi Pala Brahma. Om Gaia Mandala Siddhi Pala Brahma. Om Gaia Mandala Siddhi Pala Brahma. Om Gaia Mandala All that I am doing is out of deep respect for Mother Earth, for her beauty and wisdom, and for the elemental essence of the need for healing our beautiful blue-green planet. This vase is dedicated to healing in the Southeastern Turtle Island, the United States of America. I may circle around to the article that was shared in the newsletter, but for now, I'd like to spiral into some other stories, some star messages. Before I do that, though, I'd like to read something that Maggie Whissen, our dear Maggie, shared in acknowledging the great lineage from which this practice comes. Its beginnings were in Tibet more than 1,000 years ago in the 8th century. The method to create the treasure vases was originally brought forth, but then hidden again, to be held in the inner realms as a teaching to be discovered at a later time when the practice would be needed. Notably, these teachings were rediscovered in the 1800s at the time of the beginning of the Industrial Revolution and humanity's changing relationship with nature. Our current practice was, as you know, held by the old man in the cave, the 106-year-old Lama Charak Rinpoche, who then initiated Cynthia Jurs into this practice. So we honor Charak Rinpoche for his true wisdom, seeing and knowing of Cynthia, and to our beloved Cynthia Jurs herself for her enduring commitment these past 30 years and the manifold gifts she has brought to us and to Gaia through the sharing of this ancient practice. Also to Lama Sultram, who created our original vases and certainly still guides the way. To Auntie Margaret Catherine, who Cynthia fully acknowledges as the mother of the vases. In Cynthia's words, it was Mama who brought us together as family and who brought alive this world community. And to Gaia herself and the many lands and the many peoples who are the Earth Treasure Vase story. Those many on whose shoulders we now stand. And now to some star stories. I was born during a meteor shower, and I was taught that I was my mother's lucky star. She also taught me a practice of gratitude, of thanking my lucky stars. I love that Laura Lynn recognizes me as Star Woman. In Michigan, when I went to Kat Van Hammond's home to assist her in planting the vase dedicated to the Great Lakes, I had a dream while sleeping in the same room with the Earth Treasure Vase for healing the Southeastern United States. It was so bright and so vivid that I awoke and went outside in the wee hours of the night. Listen to the stars was the message of the dream. We are all connected was the message of the stars. And that made me think of being in the Cave of the Winds with the 3 tiny vessels that I like to say were the grandchildren of the grandmother vessel that is nestled in the cave. Those 3 vases, at the end of this month, all 3 of them will have found their resting activation within Mother Earth. Also, the connections of the many vases that are dedicated to healing waters. This vessel is very much connected to healing waters and waters healing, as are many of the vases. Also, the vases in the mountains. This vase will find its place in the land of blue smoke, the Great Smoky Mountains, known by the Cherokee as Shakonahay. And all the vases, each generation, they're all connected. During what I thought was the final offering, the final physical offering, Kat placed cedar in this vase, and she had a vision of healing starlight. And I'm looking at my journal entry, and it says that she said, I saw the stars, light from the stars like teardrops dropping down all along the Trail of Tears. It was starlight sparkling down, healing light in the shape of tears. The mica in the vase is related to healing starlight. Kat was a channel for this starry vision. When I came home, I was finally able to introduce this vase to my dear friend Joni, who holds deep indigenous wisdom in such beautiful ways. She had not heard these starry stories. Not yet. She brought healing earth of Chimayo and offered it into the vase. 3 pinches, standing by the river. She said, healing stardust for the past, the present, and the future generations. And then as she was holding the vase, she said, I'm feeling Reiki coming from the vase, from here. And she's pointing down to the first offerings in this vase. She said, I can feel it right here. And then she exclaimed, I'm a hollow bone for Reiki that is coming out of this vase through me into the cosmos, coming back down through me and back into the vase. And we were both just so delighted. Joni said, I love her. She is so powerful. And now she calls the vase my friend. My spiritual brother, Bill Toth, is retired from a long career working at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. I whispered his name in the Cave of the Winds. As a an acknowledgement that there is good. There are so many good people working amidst the potential for great harm. People with good heart, with great volition. And I had the opportunity to tell him that I had whispered his name and introduce him to the vase last week. And as he held the vase, not in a whisper, but in a strong voice, he offered one word 3 times. Peace, peace, peace. A magic spell spoken 3 times. And so as I prepare, very soon, Kat will be here with me, and Razul will be here, and we will have a fire with 13 women at a healing circle of stones at a little yellow barn behind the peaceful cottage at my home. We will seal the vase and place it in a cedar box that Kat's husband made for this vase. Perhaps we will go to Cherokee that day before the fire to meet with a grandmother and introduce her to the vase. And then the next day, October 20th, we will go to the Blue Ridge Mountains, a portion of the Appalachian Mountain Range, to the land of blue smoke, to Chickanahay, and we will find that perfect spot to plant this vase that is connected to all the other vases, that's dedicated for healing in the Southeast, Turtle Island. And I'm just so happy that you're here to share in these offerings for the healing and protection of Mother Earth. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Liza Jane. Such richness. And now we will move to the meditation, which Therese will lead and Etai will accompany on the didgeridoo. So I guess we invite you all, if you want to turn off your videos, to sink in completely to the meditation. Welcome, Therese.
Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll just all turn off the videos and go into the meditation. And Etai will play the didgeridoo towards the end, and then I'll come back to close out the meditation. And then we'll open it up to receive your reflections or your prayers or your offerings into the vase, and we'll hear again from Liza Jane, Osa, and Marita if they're on the call as well towards you. So Okay, and so let's begin together by taking a few rounds of deep breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Deep and slow. Filling the lungs, feeling the body relax. And coming to sense the ground beneath you, wherever you are in the world right now, in this moment. Sensing the earth beneath you, holding you, offering stability and calm. Your roots reaching deep down into the earth. And breathing in and breathing out. Draw up through your taproot the nourishing energies and the life force of Mother Earth, which she gives freely and generously to you. And letting go now of thoughts of the past and concerns for the future as we come into this precious present moment in deep communion with the stabilizing and nourishing energies of Mother Earth. And from this place of being deeply rooted and grounded, we open up to the light from above, feeling the warmth upon us from the sun and the moon, the full moon, and the stars glistening. Feeling expansive as we connect with the vast energies above the cosmos. And rooted below, connected above, in this present moment, breathing. And as you feel your connectedness to this special place in which you sit on the planet right now, feel your relationship to the soils, the stones, the waterways, the forests, flowers, the communities of life who call this habitat their home, just like you, and who also receive stability and nourishment from Mother Earth and the warmth of the sun and the moon, just like you. And in this present moment, in this special place, we acknowledge those who have come before. We acknowledge the ancestors of the original Indigenous people of the lands we inhabit, who have been in sacred relationship with our lands for countless generations. We acknowledge the future ancestors of this land who will continue to hold this land as sacred for countless generations to come. And we humbly invite all of them, all of the ancestors, to bless us and our practice in this present moment. Receiving the blessing of the ancestors of the land, let us also call upon all of our sources of inspiration, our own ancestors, elders, teachers and guides, lineage masters, Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and wisdom beings that we feel connected to. And invite them all to be present with us now. Invite their blessings to enter you and everyone who's present for this meditation. And receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing, and clarity. As this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring coming all the way into your deepest heart of hearts. And breathe in And breathe out, sending this love to everyone who's present in the circle. And breathing in, receive the love that's being sent. Breathing out, sending. Breathing in, receiving. Like the ebb and the flow of gentle tides, washing blessing amongst us all in the circle. And gradually expand your focus to include all of your friends and family, all of your community and loved ones, and anyone who this practice may serve right now. And imagining our circle gradually growing from our home, our neighbourhood, bioregion, country, and continent, to include all beings in all places, everywhere. Embracing the whole planet with our love. Breathing in and breathing out, and blessing the whole planet. Now with this feeling of rootedness below, expansiveness above, and waves of love flowing from your heart, let us turn our awareness to those who are suffering, to the places on the earth where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts or floods or fires, anywhere where the need for healing is very great. And breathe in this suffering, and as you breathe out, send your love and your caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, her people, and all of life, all around the whole planet. Imagine that where there is hunger, great nourishing gardens begin to grow. Where there is thirst, fresh, clean waterways spring up. Where there are unhoused, safe shelters are built. Where there is war and conflict, choirs of peace echo in the hills. Where there is sickness, vital health is celebrated. And where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, imagine a restoration of balanced power, bringing protection and regeneration as you hear the songlines of the land sing in great harmony. Now see the generosity and reciprocity in communities of life flowing freely, seeing the beauty and the riches of nature flowering into abundance for the sustenance of life, revitalizing this radiant blue-green planet that we call home. And as we hold this glowing vision of precious Mother Earth, we call into our awareness the presence of the earth treasure vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted all around the world. And let us imagine that together we're pouring our love and our caring in the form of light into each and every little clay pot buried in the body of Mother Earth, filling each vase with our deepest prayers and blessings for healing. Imagine each earth treasure vase radiating light in every direction, sending healing and protective energy wherever it's needed, in whatever form is needed. See the light like a rainbow streaming forth from each of the vases, white, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colours in between. And breathing in and breathing out, allow the feeling of caring and compassion in your heart of hearts to grow. Send that love out in the form of light to all of the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected to the Earth's treasure vases that need healing and protection in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala in the cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And to the north at the source of the Rio Grande River in Crete, Colorado. To the south at the mouth of the Rio Grande at the Gulf of Mexico. To the east on top of Mount Baldy above Santa Fe. And to the west on Mount Chicoma, known as Sycamore to the Tewa people of New Mexico, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And now, having established the center and the four directions, see the mandala growing in every direction. To the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, to the headwaters of growth redwood forest in Northern California, the Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, Vilcabamba, Ecuador, Jakova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Lab at the University of California, Berkeley, the Daldam Forest on the border of Thailand and Myanmar, the village of Ain Karen in Israel, Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganga in India, and the source of the Amazon in Peru, the Southern Pacific Ocean, 93 feet down in the Egom Atoll in the Trobriand Islands of Papua New Guinea, the Arctic Circle, Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Pelawayon village in the Lofa County, Boinjama district of Liberia, West Africa, the Blyde River Canyon, Limpopo province, South Africa, the Giza Plateau, Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Ntombwe Forest, South Kivu province, Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury, England, Vindaloo in Jarwin country, near Catherine in the Northern Territory of Australia. And to the second generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Gabarnmang, Arnhem Land, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa River Valley, Ottawa Gatineau, Canada, the original garden in Findhorn, Scotland, the Great Stupa in Budna, Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of America, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California, the Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico, Honolulu in the Kimberleys of Australia, the village of Utkarvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington, Mount Ryosen above Fukushima, Japan, back to where it all began, at the cave hermitage of Charok, Nepal, to Margaby County, Liberia, to the base of an old ironbark tree on Diffie Hill Mountain in the Budawang wilderness of Walbanja country, Yuin Nation, Southeastern Australia, to our root temple, Tologompa in Nepal, the Munzar Valley in Turkey, Serpent Mound in Ohio, and Antarctica. And to the third generation of Earth Treasure vases, the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, the Saugatuck Dunes on the Lake Michigan in the USA, and to the Sacred Highwood Valley in the Canadian Rockies in Alberta, Canada. And having acknowledged all of the vases which have been placed into Mother Earth, let us bring our awareness now to the vases which are in the hands of their stewards, actively journeying and gathering their prayers and offerings. To the second generation of Earth Treasure vases, to Southwestern Australia, New Zealand, the Bering Strait in Russia, Delphi in Greece, the Ashananka lands of the Amazon forest in Brazil, to Korea, to the Arhuaco territory in Colombia, to the vase dedicated to healing racism in the USA, to Washington, DC, to Italy, and to British Columbia. And also to the 3 third-generation Earth Treasure vases, which we're honouring especially on this full moon with Liza Jane, into the southeastern United States, into the mountains of southern Appalachia, with Marita to Kirkland in Washington, and to Osa with her vase dedicated to the whale. And finally, let's also include the 11 vases still sitting on the altar with the mother vase, yet to be dedicated, and to the third generation vases still awaiting their final destination. So once again, we come together taking a deep and slow in-breath. Deep and slow out-breath. And imagine that all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light, radiating out from each of these earth treasure vases all around the whole planet, in every direction. Imagine this healing light flowing out from the vases, filling the whole global earth treasure vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and caring. See this healing force traveling through the song lines and meridians of the earth, flowing into each location on the global mandala. And see the mandala like a web of light embracing the whole planet. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the earth treasure vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the earth treasure vases. Imagine this light flowing into your own location, your special spot in nature, and feel the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global earth treasure vase mandala, activating your node on the global healing mandala, entering you as a holy vessel. And finally, please focus your concentration one-pointedly on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from all the vases around the earth in waves of light, flowing back and forth endlessly. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored. Now, recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on Earth, of which we each are a part. Let's give thanks for this precious sacred time together. And we pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth and to all beings. So with another deep and slow in-breath, a deep and slow out-breath, let's bring our awareness back to the body, back to our feet on the floor, back to our groundedness, to the earth beneath us in our own location. And then in your own time, wiggling your toes, and having a stretch and opening your eyes and returning to the circle for sharing when you're ready. Yeah, so just feel free to continue to take your time coming back. And then we'll go into offering our prayers. Oh, sorry, just turned my video off accidentally. We'll go into offering our prayers. into the vase, and I can see Liza Jane is there with her vase for Southeastern USA open and ready to receive your prayers and offerings. And just a reminder that whatever you offer now can be in any form. Feel free to speak any language that you like. Feel free to offer by way of music or song or even silence. Anything is welcome. And everything is welcome. And it's really nice to hear from you and to have your input. And it's really enriches. It's always valued. We also have got the chat going, so if you need to pop anything in there, if you have any trouble with your audio, that'll be fine. And we'll call on Liza Jane first, and then Osa, if that's okay. And is Marita with us today? Oh, yes. Okay, so then Marita as well. Marita's there with her vase open as well, so that's wonderful. And then from there, we'll invite you to push that button to raise your hand, or just to unmute yourself to offer your prayers. But yeah, let's hear first from Liza Jane.
This evening, I'd like to offer deep gratitude to Cynthia, Elizabeth Christine, Kat, and each of you who have shown up this evening in support of this particular vase's journey, and just want to place into the vase my breath, the breath of life, for the healing and protection of the Southeastern United States.
Thank you. And Osa, are you able to join us there?
So I'd like to offer a song that Liza Jane taught me for her vase. So I'm probably not going to sing it, but Liza Jane, I'm going to laugh all my laughter. I'm going to cry all my tears. And, you know, ever since I met Liza Jane and we sang for the first time, we've had a pretty big connection. And so it's kind of nice that both of our vases have a watery connection as well. So did you want me to talk about my vase also, or just give to her?
Actually, that would be wonderful if you can talk about your vase as well. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not with it right now, I'm sorry to say, but I am with it in spirit. So yeah, my vase has had a little journey, but the journey just rapidly got accelerated in the last couple of weeks, where I connected with a woman who's a friend of a friend in Provincetown, who was so thrilled about the whole Earth Treasure Vase story and process and my vase that she asked me to write a little piece. Like she said, try to just do one page, and it's a page and a quarter, about the vase and what I have in mind for it. And she's taking it to the staff at the Center for Coastal Studies in Provincetown, where she has been a donor for a while. just to see if any of them, if they're interested in kind of co-sponsoring a Vase ceremony for offerings, and for all of the healing that goes on in the process of one of those ceremonies. And then she is just madly psyched to go out on the dunes and bury it with just a little group of people. So I was thrilled to have gotten connected with her and have it sort of all of a sudden get great momentum. But we're pretty sure that the right time to do it is actually the spring, as opposed to, because we don't feel like we can pull it together in the next couple of months, and then it'll be winter when everything really kind of slows down there. So that's kind of the plan, and I'm happy to have a plan, and we'll see what happens with it. So thank you all for being in this with my vase and I and everybody else and all the other vases, and onward. Thanks.
Thank you. And yeah, that's that vase, especially dedicated to the whales. So I always think back to the call we had a few months ago with Julian, which wove in so strongly the whale and dolphin connections, and they seem to me to be arising all the time. So I feel those blessings are really present in the whole field of the Gaia mandala. So yeah, we definitely, if anyone's been tuning in with the whales and that energy to offer to Osa's Vase this evening, that would be really welcome to hear from you as well. I could say more, but I'll let other people talk for now. So thank you, Osa, and let's hear from Marita.
Thank you, Therese. I add my love and my friendship to the sister vases of this vase that were all created so lovingly in Ghost Ranch last year. And yes, and Karen and Steve, you're holding yours up too. They are all sisters and granddaughters. And this particular vase is has the intention of healing and protecting the planet from all the toxicity that has come to the planet from COVID and its variants. And that is because I live about 20 minutes away from the Life Care Center in Kirkland, Washington, where that first hotspot occurred and so many people died. And then 5 minutes away from there is the Evergreen Health Services, where a number of those people died too. And that is where my life was saved from COVID. I mean, not from COVID, with chemotherapy when I had cancer in 2017. So there's a personal touch there. And those of you who were on the Tara Gaia group yesterday, we did discuss some of the extra challenges of burying a vase in an urban center such as Kirkland. I can't just take a shovel and go out into the mountains and dig a hole without probably being arrested within an urban area. So I'm dealing with the Kirkland Parks Department, and hopefully and the people, so far the people I have been dealing with have been compassionate and empathetic, and pointed me in the direction right now of Denny Park, which the Denny's were the founders of Seattle, and the Duwamish people had winter lodges on this base in Juanita Bay. but it's on the edge of Lake Washington. So I visited this park 2 days ago, and it seems so perfect. I really hope it happens, and I'm hoping that if miracle of miracles, it would happen on October 25th, which is the new moon coming up after this full moon with an eclipse. So there's double the energy in that time. So, but it all depends on those wonderful people who run the park department there. And they are having, Kirkland is having a special forest day and special plantings of trees right now in this season, which is how I thought I could get around burying a vase, is if I donated a tree to the park and then planted the vase under the tree. That's what I'm hoping for. And a chant that I know we'll be singing was, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Ito and Joe, who chant, they do kirtan chants from India. But I did see Ito sing a chant that his ashram in India has been singing since the beginning of the pandemic. So for the COVID, so we'll be singing that as a group as we bury this, when it happens, working with bureaucracy. And I see Marge McCarthy there because I know she's working with the bureaucracy of a much larger city, and that's Washington, D.C. And hopefully we'll get through these challenges of so that more vases, earth treasure vases, can be planted in urban areas where they're needed as much as in the beautiful remote areas of Mother Earth. So I welcome any offerings for this, and also prayers to see if this could happen on the upcoming new moon, when there are new beginnings and new wishes, but also attached to an eclipse. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, hearing your prayers and Gaia speed to you. May Green Tara and Tara Gaia bless that journey and open up the way in the cities for these precious vessels to be placed. Yeah, and the cities are such important places where there's as much nature as out in the forest. So honouring and blessing that journey. Thank you. And so now we're open to any of you to push the button to raise your hand or to just unmute yourself. And oh yes, Wendy, come on in.
I love the idea, Marita, of doing the tree, planting the tree at the same time of the pot. There's just something so beautiful about that, the tree of life coming out of this little pot and making it all well in an urban atmosphere. I mean, who's going to question you planting a tree? It's such a beautiful thing to do. So I think that's great imagination and being very resourceful, and just a wonderful idea as it turns into a trunk and branches out and all the fruits that it can give us. What I would love to add into both those beautiful vases is I think rose petals, as in, you know, there's so many things that we can put in, and you know, it might sound idealistic, but if we could just have the, you know, rain down on us, you know, love rain down on us, and it would just soothe so many of the wounds that we're recovering from, and so many people continue to struggle with from during these times. So I offer white rose petals and red rose petals and the fragrance of rose oil, which is very soothing for the heart and very healing from the heart. We have a lot of hearts that need to be mended right now. And then for those who just want that additional calming, I would put in a little dose of lavender and just let that sit and rest, and we can bathe in that. So that is for both of those beautiful, precious vases. And thank you so much for the work everyone is continuing to do. Blessings.
Thank you. And Judith Tripp.
Hello, everyone. And Liza, blessings on this planting that's coming. My prayer for this vase is that it is just filled with the love of this circle and collected in every possible way, so that the Appalachian Mountains that are a spinal column for the eastern part of Turtle Island might be filled with the stars you speak of, might be enlightened and moved to a different vibration, and that begin to spill out over the entire East Coast and the South. And may this, you find just the absolutely right place so that Mother Gaia can receive this latest blessing. Much love to you, dear Liza Jane, and to Kat and whoever else is coming along for this planting. Much love.
Thank you. And I'll just add in a couple of prayers that are coming up on the chat there. From Joan Boylan to place into the vase a prayer for the protection of the Barngarla people and their country in Southeastern Australia from the nuclear industry and the military. Blessings to Southeastern Australia, Barngarla country. And also from Ellen Springwood, sending love and healing energies to the vases and giving thanks to everyone here for their compassion and dedication. And there's a couple of people wondering, Marge McCarthy, if you would be able to talk about the Washington DC vase and talk about the location that might be emerging for that.
I would be glad to get you up to date on this, but Judith Tripp, who just spoke, is the steward for this vase. The idea was mine during one of Cynthia's meditations that there be an Earth Treasure vase in Washington, D.C. And then a couple of weeks later, I walked a labyrinth and just had this strong feeling that the Earth Treasure vase should be beneath a labyrinth in Washington, D.C. Well, talk about how difficult it is to plant a vase. It's to plant a 45-foot diameter labyrinth is something else. But something very exciting happened this past week. I had, we have a committee of 4 of us, Judith and I and Chris Katzenmeyer and Lars Howlett, who are all members of Veritas, the labyrinth organization in San Francisco. And I think it's a beautiful proposal. Judith, I'd love for you to talk about it too. And we had put it together and I had sent it to our congresswoman last fall, hoping we could get together and talk about it at Christmas time. Chris Katzenmeyer was willing to come down to Colorado to meet with our congresswoman. I think she never ever got the proposal, but it just happened that this past week, my husband and I had a meet and greet for her running for Congress at our apartment here in Santa Fe. And I gave her the proposal and she just glanced. We didn't have much time to talk, but she was very interested in it. And she gave me the name of a legislative assistant to send it to digitally, so she would have it other than a hard copy in her hand. And the woman that got it responded within a couple of hours saying, let's talk. So we're kind of on the way, and in a way that we never thought we would be able to do. So this woman said that she had stumbled on, was her words, a labyrinth in Georgetown on the river. So she has some idea about it. She happens to be away now for a week, so we're hoping to do a Zoom meeting with her when that's over. But Judith, do you want to add something to this? Because you're the steward.
If you can just unmute, please, Judah.
Okay, you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, Marge, I think Marge and I are really co-stewards of this space, truly. And this is really good news that I've heard about too. I mean, we are seeking to create a situation where there's both a labyrinth and the treasure vase in the same place. So if we get to build a labyrinth, we will place the vase quietly at the very center of that labyrinth. And that'll be a match to the vase that I planted in the Isle of Lewis last spring, where there was also a labyrinth nearby. So we're starting to work on the connection between labyrinths and their network of healing along with the Earth Treasure Vase. So wish us well. Thank you.
Thank you. We wish you well. And yeah, feeling that sort of ripple through all of the Earth treasure vases that are still in the hands of their stewards now, and just the miraculous ways that the vases go on their journeys and paths open up, and the people and the beings that get involved along the way. So blessings for all the helpers and guides on those journeys. Great to hear that update. Thanks, Judith and Marge. And Julie, hi there.
Hello everyone, I'm Julie. I'm Julie from Perth in Western Australia. And it feels like today for us, so tonight for you guys, but it feels like all the vases are open, but really present in a huge way for me today. So everyone's sharing their stories about it, and then the other vases are jumping on like, what about me and me and me? So I'm feeling the whole mandala really, really very present and open and very receiving. And we're sort of more in our winter time here. So we've still got rain, but then we've got bits of sun coming through. And as was spoken about the vase being planted underneath the tree, it started to rain here, and then sunshine came, and then I've got butterflies. So I'm looking out in my front garden and there's butterflies everywhere, and then birds are flying past, and then a rainbow comes out. So it's really like all the elements are so with us and encouraging us, and just all this beautiful new growth. And as the old is falling away, it's that mulch and that impetuous for that new growth, and it's actually happening simultaneously. So I just feel that, yes, for the 3 vases that have stepped forward, but for all the vases as well, that everything is welcome and everyone is welcome. And when that was mentioned, I actually got tears, and it really, really touched my heart that everyone and everything is absolutely welcome. And for some reason, yes, today I'm feeling this so much more than normal. So thank you so much, everyone. Love you all, and beautiful, beautiful, joyful blessings. Oh, and can I add, sorry, we're talking about the dolphins. Yeah. They just jumped in on me. So we just got that beautiful wave energy of the dolphins that just came through me. So it's not at this moment, but in November, I'm heading back up north, and I'm doing some more volunteer work with dolphins. So, and I actually feel in December so it's end of November and December. So when the Southwestern Australia vase gets planted, I potentially won't be there in Albany, which is south of Western Australia. I'm going to be up north in Western Australia, physically being, working and doing, I get tears on this one, doing data and research with the dolphins. So I just felt them just sort of just coming into my consciousness, that beautiful dolphin, love and joy. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really perfect. That link in along that whole coast where the whales and the dolphins travel the songlines and sing their songs to help the earth in their way as well. Thanks, Julie. And Penny thought?
Hello, everyone. I'd like to offer to all three of the vases reconciliation and regeneration. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and from the chat as well, bringing in deep healing blessings to all the people of Israel, Palestine, all animals and plant life, all healing waters in and around this ancient home of Gaia. Thank you, Gillian. And Barbara sending love and deep support for all this powerful healing for all beings. And yeah, Wendy, who did offer her prayers of the rose and the lavender, just mentioning that in the chat as well. Yeah, so does anyone else feel to speak at the moment? Oh, thanks, Caraway Seed.
Hello. I feel especially touched by the vase for Southeastern United States and also the COVID vase in Washington, because the lands of the Southeastern United States and Washington are two lands that have been homes for me at times in my life. And I especially to the Southeastern vase, I want to give my memory of going on a birding trip in Arkansas in a place called Bayou de View in a swamp that was the most vibrant place I've ever been with life. Just the sounds of the insects and the birds and just teeming with life. And we were going to see the ivory-billed woodpecker, which was thought to be extinct since 1944, but was found again by researchers back in about 2005 or 6. And I was able to go with some dear friends who know a lot about birds and to see that bird. And so I just send that bird's call and flight into the vase and the beauty of the swamp land there, and just all of that life, blessing that life to continue and be protected, and for there to be healing for the lands and for the people, especially the original peoples, and their connection and their bond with the land. And yeah, for the Washington vase, what came for me was to offer my grief for this COVID time, for the losses, the changes, grieving who I was before, and calling in a prayer and a blessing for who we're all becoming in these changing times. And may these changes bring us closer to the earth and to each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, just while we're waiting, if anyone else wants to share their prayers as well, I'd also love to add in my prayer for the vase for the healing of COVID-19, to add in not only the healing of the lives lost and the health of the people affected, but also for the healing of the relationships that have been fractured by the different sort of measures that were brought in by different governments around the world, the separation, the isolation, the judgments, and the sort of fracturing that happened in some families or friendships. So for weaving, all that love and caring and healing and protection through the hearts of people and communities, and rippling that out into the government so they can perhaps make better decisions that help to unite people and keep them in that loving, caring space. Oh, and Laura Feldman.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I want to say that this is just a wonderful journey, Marita. Your vase is just so inspiring. And that it will bloom with the tree, with tree life. That the vase will bloom with tree life. It's just so lovely. And I wanted to add to this vase pretty much what everyone has been saying, or not everyone, but has been expressed, and I can only say it again, is that I want to add to this vase the deep empathy and love and our connection with the earth and each other, which I think COVID has taught us. It's been hard and it's been wounding, but I think like nothing else, it has taught us how connected we are to one another and the earth. So I want to add that to this vase, to the vases, these connections and this love that I think is generated through all of these vases. Thank you. Thank you, Marita.
Thank you very much. And Maggie Kaplan.
I'm just so moved. This is so beautiful, all of this. I'm holding the vase for British Columbia. She's been here for about 6 weeks now. And I think this is the first time she's joined a full moon gathering with all the other vases. And she's really excited. I can feel her vibrating. It's amazing. I'm pretty blown away by that particular individual energy that this little vase has. And some or other, she wanted me to speak tonight. What I'm in touch with from all that everybody has shared is a kind of joyous sweetness and the connection of all the vases in this particular quality of true nature. And I want to offer that into the vases that are well, Liza Jane, your vase that is very soon to be buried, and any of the others that may, hopefully, the one very close to us in Kirkland will be buried soon. And I too love the idea of a tree growing out of her. So much grows out of all of these vases, and this little vase is teaching me that. Thank you.
I'm not sure if something happened with Therese's connection, but let's go ahead and move forward. Thank you so much, Maggie, and let's hear from Kat.
Blessings, everyone. it's come to my, into me lately that there's a song, an Anishinaabe song that I learned long ago that I actually didn't know was a water song. And then I found out recently that it was a water song, and I found out that the way the song came to be was a native woman from Minnesota, she was at a conference with the Japanese man who does the water, like talking to the water and then measuring the vibrations of the crystal, the photographing the crystals of the water. And he had a prayer that he said to the water. And so she and her grandson used to travel. She used to take her grandson to school, and they would cross the Mississippi River and drive between two lakes, and they would sing the song to the waters every day on the way to school. And her grandson was about 8 years old at the time, and he had gone to a lot of powwows and stuff. And he said at some point, he said, "Grandma, why don't we sing this prayer? We sing our prayers." And so her daughter was studying the Anishinaabe language, and they went to the teacher, her teacher, and had him translate the words, which are, "Water, we love you. Water, we respect you. Water, we care for you." And so that's how that song came to be. And one thing I really love about, and it's spread like wild water. It's spread all over. A lot of people know this song, especially in the water protector community. And what I want to offer to the Vases is this song, but also that the indigenous people are alive and still creating songs, that new songs are coming, that the culture is still alive and it's still producing new things. It's not just all old songs and ceremonies, but new ceremonies are arising, and not only with the native people, but with us. But I also really want to send that blessing to this new sprouting of all the indigenous people that is happening, regaining their roots and then sprouting new leaves and new life. And I find that so, I want to put that into the Vases tonight. And here's the song. Nibe Gizage go, Gimme away, me go, Giza way, me go, Nibe Gizage go, Gimme away, me go, Giza way, me go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kat. Yeah. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward with a blessing before we complete for tonight? Julie.
I would just like to add that when Therese was talking about the COVID and her blessings, and when Marita was talking about her story, just at that time, the doves in my garden really, really picked up, and there was lots of the cooing sound. So that's that beautiful piece and the Christ consciousness, for me, that is the symbology of doves in that way. And I had them come to my front door. They were just like at my front door, and I'm like, hello. And I just put that in so that everyone, maybe you can all just close your eyes, and hopefully you all like doves. I personally do love doves. And if you can just close your eyes and just hear you know, that beautiful internal peace that is always us. So I just invite everyone, just close your eyes and just feel that beautiful dove energy moving into your heart. And just hear their sound. Feel the frequency of the dove and that Christ consciousness, that light. And just welcome everything into your heart with no judgment. And just feel that beautiful frequency of the dove. And maybe you want to invite the dove to come to your front door. And maybe physically they actually do turn up. I've got tears saying that. Oh, thank you, beautiful ones. Thank you for all our beautiful animals and beings and everything and everyone we share our planet with. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie and the doves. Yes, and I do want to offer a short prayer for Liza Jane for your vase. I just feel that you so modestly present and that you so thoroughly have carried this vase for the many, many layers of healing called for in the Pacific Southwest. I mean the Atlantic, US Southwest, Southeast. Okay, I'll get there. Yeah, and I guess it's a prayer for the rising of inclusiveness that and equality in strength that mirrors whatever prejudice and exclusion that has taken place there, that the Southeast become this leader in many ways of representation of all the different peoples. And I have great gratitude for the way you've carried the vase and the touching into your own lineage and the healing of that lineage as well. We all heal together. And so that is so beautiful. And Liza Jane, I was wondering if you would come forward to close our time together by singing the song that Osa learned from you that represents her song for the vase.
Thank you for asking. I think it's a really good way to close. I'm gonna let life move me. I'm gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. I'm gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. Gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. Alaho.
Alalaho. And we dedicate all this beauty and connectedness to the benefit of all beings throughout space and time. And wishing you all a beautiful month, and we will rejoin on the next full moon.